Trump news, we live. Trump news, we live. Giving Democrats the boo-hoo-hoo blues. Coming on in and that all we do is win Wednesday, man. We starting off with the Trump. Oh, man, we looking good, too. The camera's so effervescent. Look at that. Oh, Wednesday, win. All we do is win Wednesday with another great fired-up day. I know you just fired up your YouTube, man. I know you just fired up your Instagram. I know you just fired up whatever social media platform you're on. What I need you to do right now, tap into the hottest podcast in the land. His name, you know his name. Let us know his name right now in the chat. Perversion podcast. Yes, sir. Who number one in the chat? Who is that? That's Ozzy Cosby with the Rich of Destruction. Oh man, yesterday's so fire. I don't know. Relax and take sport. Relax and talk sport. Boy, you look so good. Boy, you look so good. Boy, wake up in the fall. Look how good you. Oh, everybody look good, man. Like Christmas, man. Coming in. You know how first day of school, everybody got brand new. Everybody look good. Haircut, man. Everybody, hey man, Mr. Boski, man. Hey, Mr. Boski, man. You better jump in. The water is fine, man. Mr. Boski, where your membership at? Man, you need to be looking so good like Ozzy and them, man. Relax and talk sports, man. What's up with you, man? Membership has its privileges, baby. Look at him, man. Top of the mid-morning salute to you, man. We're going to have another rompous conversation this morning, man. Another entertaining, wild, winning Wednesday. Mega, all day, every day. Trump news. Giving Democrats the boo-hoo blues, giving Democrats the boo-hoo blues. Let's get the podcast fired up and started, man. Back at it like a crack at it, automatic like a fomatic, built from tragedy, made for static. It's your boy, Perversion podcast, back with the blast, in and out with a dash. 2025 won't last. I told you from the beginning. I told you from the beginning. I told you. Let's go. Woo! I say it every morning in my call sign. I said 2025 won't last. We're going to get this done in and out with a dash. I said 2025 won't last. And is it September? I think it's September. I said 2025 won't last. And before you know it, man, we talked about, I remember we was all sitting right here just a couple, it seemed like a couple ticks ago, and we were discussing the first 100 days. So a month is 30 days. The first quarter is 90 days. We coming into the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter, first year of a 4-year presidency. And I remember all of the disarray and how we got here today. It's very important how we got here today, because we started off with a rolling train. Yeah, we started off with a rolling train. Rolling. Keep them receipts rolling. MAGA. We started off with a rolling train. 80% of the vote, a mandate. Came out the box swinging, 90 days, 90 executive orders. Off the top, had a meeting with Zelensky in the first 30 days. Think about where we really are truly in America. For those of us who don't really love America, because it's so convenient to not love America because of who's in the White House. But when was the last time you talked about any type of global conflict? Today we're going to talk about somebody trying to steal a show. Somebody trying to steal a show with a big parade. But to be honest, Donald Trump is the most influential leader in the past 20 years. When Donald Trump came into office, the whole world was terrified. Not just Americans, but China and Russia, everybody, because it was conflict everywhere. Inflation, gas prices, because when inflation goes up, gas prices goes up, conflict goes up. So Donald Trump had everything to deal with. When the last time you heard about conflict? All I keep hearing about is summits. All I keep hearing about is deals. That's all I keep hearing about. And what's today? Ozzy, what's today? All we do is win Wednesday. When we, in January, you want to go back to 2024 when everybody was terrified. People were they didn't know what was going to happen with global conflict. People didn't trust the Democrats could handle the global conflict. Everybody was scared. Remember, they said World War III. You know what I want to know? To all of my MAGA people who follow politics, what happened to the drones? Do y'all remember when Trump got elected in January? On Joe Rogan, they talked about these drones, these magical drones. They're supposed to be, they even brought up UFOs. They tried everything. They tried to assassinate Trump 3 times. They brought out UFOs. What happened to the UFOs? They brought out the Martians. What happened to the Martians? What happened to the drones flying over the ocean? Oh, we don't know where they came from. Everybody was scared. I never saw a drone. Did you see a drone? They said they had SUV-sized drones sitting in the air. They brought out everything. Miss Perk Time in the building said hi. They brought out everything. But here, this is how we got here. So all of these things was thrown at Trump because we came in with a mandate, 90 executive orders, 90 days, but that wasn't enough. Then we passed the big beautiful bill. No one even talking about the big beautiful bill, but we passed the big beautiful bill, $1 trillion legislation. Come on, come in. I want the trolls to come in because I want the people to just, even if you hate Donald Trump, you must hate America because these truths and reality are self-evident. $1 trillion legislation. Whether you like it or not, the fact of the matter is, $1 trillion legislation passed in under 6 months. We're just in September. What we're doing is a small recap before we get the show started. Just a small little foundational building block like a Lego, bit by bit, breaking it down just by the compound. You understand what I'm saying? Because people don't like it. People may be upset. People want to troll it, but there are certain realities. If these realities were not true, God forbid, troll, you might not have anything to talk about. Think about it. If Donald Trump wasn't successful, and this goes to you in your life. Yesterday, we had a lot of people become members. A lot of people join the channel. A lot of people donate to the channel. Let me tell you something about life. Even in your life, you will face adversity when you have success, and you will have a choice of what direction that you will go. I'm going to tell you right now, keep moving forward. Every day I face adversity. People say evil, salacious, vicious things in the chat. But yesterday, God showed his voice like, look how beautiful, look how your hard work will pay off. So what we gonna do, talk about that hard work, man. What you cannot ignore is the fact that the big beautiful bill is large $1 trillion expansive legislation. We can debate whether or not its validity, whether or not you agree with the tax cuts, but we cannot debate whether or not it passed, how fast it passed, and how easy it passed, and how large it is, how substantial it is, and the fact that the Democrats could not do a similar thing in over 12 years. Think about if Kamala Harris had a big, beautiful bill to run on, then she would have something to talk about instead of looking like an idiot in those CNN interviews, and why she refused to go on Joe Rogan. She didn't have signature legislation. So she had to speak to border czar rumors, border czar complaints, immigrants overrunning the country, and you were the border czar. Well, she should have been able to rebut with signature legislation, but 4 years went by and they didn't get anything passed. No signature legislation, no raising of the minimum wage. But the fact of the matter is, Trump actually passed the largest $1 trillion, most expansive bill in the past 10 years. Yeah, I need you to troll. I need you to be upset, because the truth won't change that we're not talking about Ukraine today. We're not talking about Iran today. When was the last time you talked about Israel? We're focused on Chicago and death in Chicago. This is what MAGA was all about all along. And the Democrats want to distract. Do you guys notice what Trump is doing? Trump is focused on America. MAGA is not just MAGA. It's about a better America. And every day I see Americans of all colors, all races, all creeds, all political backgrounds agreeing with Trump and focusing on America. Remember, everybody was worried about troops going overseas. Democrats, what do you want, Democrats? Pick your poison. This is an excellent question. I'm telling you guys, pay attention to what you see and what you hear, because just 5 minutes ago, the Democrats were scaring you with your children going overseas. Now they want to fight your children. Now the Chicago mayor is calling for civil unrest. And Chicago mayor wants citizens to fight the National Guard. The National Guard is your children. The National Guard is my daughter, my son. Why do you want Chicago citizens angry at the National Guard? Why do you want the Chicago citizens to stand against the National Guard? The National Guard are our children. Which one is it, Democrats? Should we be afraid of troops going overseas, or should we be what should be the focus? But I don't need you to answer, because I know the answer, because that's why we voted for Trump and MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. Fire today, man. Fire it up today, man. Fire up the chat. All we do is win Wednesday. That's why we voted for Trump. That's why we voted for MAGA. Do you guys realize what's actually happened overnight? And it's a beautiful thing. Even I bring you this content every day, and this is a perspective that I've never even brought to you. I know everybody at home is listening right now like, this is why I listen. This is why I joined the channel. This is why I subscribe. No one has ever thought about with the perspective that I'm saying right now. This is what you should be worried about: MAGA dismantling freedom and the American way of life. What? I like that you said that, Cody Young. Thank you for paying attention and listening. I'm going to pin that so we can deal with that. Cody Young said, you should be worried about MAGA dismantling freedom and the American way of life. So I want to say shout out to all of the content creators that listen to my podcast, and they've been running with my content, and they've been using my talking points. So yesterday I talked about, this is a great example of something that's been bothering me today about the Chicago, St. Louis, and the inner cities, right? When this gentleman, when Cody talks about the American way of life, I am insulted. Who else is insulted by that? Because this weekend, what did we see? What do you see on my thumbnail? 51 shootings and 7 murders in Chicago, and I seen a triple homicide plus 2 other murders in Sacramento. A triple homicide in Sacramento with a multi-million-dollar shot spotter system that obviously didn't work, because the police officers didn't even know that, wait a minute, but there were 4 shooters. Did you know in Sacramento there were actually 4 shooters? So 3 people dead, but there was a third, that the 18-year-old who shot the other 2 who not going to be charged. So there's 4 shooters, 3 teenagers, 18, 3 20-year-olds dead. That's Sacramento. So when you say American way of life, I am insulted, because I am a citizen. I believe in God and country. I pay taxes, and I believe that American way of life that you are talking about and what you want to protect is perverted crime. And you want to protect blacks murdering blacks and black murder. I think what Cody is saying is that black murder is American culture that the Democrats are okay with. Because what you have 2 choices, Cody. You have Labor Day weekend where 7 people were murdered in Chicago, 7 black people and 50 people shot. But wait, Cody, the weekend before that, 50 people were shot. That is culture in Chicago, but not all over Chicago, just in South Chicago. So are you saying to us today, Cody, that we want to protect Black death? Because that's what I've been hearing. That's exactly what I've been hearing from the Chicago mayor, from the Democratic leadership. You are absolutely correct that there is this perception of American culture, this gangsterized hip-hop, drill music, perception of American culture that is positive and is not positive, but it's pervasive, but it is not positive, right? That is not true Americana. That is perversion. That is a perversion from a single parent home. Can we have a real talk this morning? Can somebody put my call phrase in the chat? Can somebody write, can we have a real talk this morning? Can somebody write in the chat, can we have a real talk this morning about the perversion? That's not American culture, Mr. Cody. That is perversion of a single parent home. Without God, without a father, without a family, without law and order. Then you get this perverted sense of reality and you call it American culture and you think it needs to be protected. What needs to be protected? Drill needs to be protected. The vice lords need to be protected. The GDs, the BDs. What culture? Because that's a culture. Gang culture. I think Cody is referring to gang mafioso culture that is pervasive in South Chicago. Hello, can we have a real talk this morning that is pervasive in South Chicago? And I'm highlighting that comment and I'm calling it out because it's becoming evident to me that the Democrats and Democratic leadership agree with Cody. They agree that this culture has merit, that this murderistic, felonious, criminal culture in Chicago, in East St. Louis, has some type of merit that needs to be protected. I disagree, Cody. I disagree, Cody. That's not culture. It's perversion. It's perversion. See, when you don't have a father in the home, you might believe that murder is condoned, that reaching these emotional crash out moments. I just saw a beautiful young lady talk about multiple mass shootings in Chicago over the holiday weekend. Mellow Bucks party, mass shooting at a park, mass shooting. This is culture that you are thinking is okay and needs to be protected. I am voting MAGA and I want it stomped out. I want it stomped out because it's not culture, it's perverted pervasion. And it's the product of single parent homes who haven't given a crap about their children, who haven't given a crap about their community, who haven't given a crap about their country, and who have allowed children who don't believe and understand the importance of America and freedom. That's why 20 million immigrants came here. 20 million immigrants came here. 20 million immigrants came here. And you know what? They're not leaving because they appreciate America. Yeah, they want to work. They want to pay taxes. Why do immigrants come here and they want to work and pay taxes? They want to become American. Immigrants work for 20 years. You know what an immigrant story is? My mom and dad came here and they worked hard. They worked 2 jobs. They didn't become American right away, but they paid their taxes for 20 years to become American. They worked hard. Why would someone come here and work like a slave to become an American? Can we have a real talk this morning? Because everybody in Chicago don't like America. They don't like the National Guard. They don't like Trump. Why would somebody come here and work 20 years like a dog to become an American if it wasn't the greatest place on earth? They could go back. They could go back and they don't want to go back. They come here, they sacrifice, they work 2 jobs, they put their kids through college. You know what immigrants do? Immigrants put their kids in the military. You won't put your kids in the military. How about Chicago single parent homes? How about St. Louis single parent homes? How about you take them little hoodlum YNs and take them down to the recruitment office and they go to the military? They don't go to the military. They want to come back to your neighborhood with military weapons and shoot up an inner city neighborhood, but somebody think that needs to be protected. They don't want to go protect the country. They don't want to go. But immigrants, you want to look up the statistics on children of immigrant parents, on how many of them join the armed services versus your little hoodlum babies of single parent homes, your little hoodlum babies of single parent homes that you want to protect. Freedom for the hoodlum babies of single. That's what you want. You want freedom for the hoodlum babies of single parent homes who don't have jobs, who don't pay taxes, who don't contribute to the tax base, who don't contribute contribute to the community in a positive way, that's who you want to protect. That's who gets freedom. Hezekiah in the building with the first super chat. Salute to you, brother. I need to know where you really stand. Who gets the freedom? Who gets the freedom? Because today, you know who has freedom? You know who has freedom? Black people have the freedom. And then as black people, and I don't want to go racial because I'm not a Democrat. The Democrats go racial. So let me leave out black people. But it is a black on black crime. But you know how much freedom you have in Chicago? You have so much freedom in Chicago, you can kill each other and get out of jail. That's the freedom you have today in Chicago. What freedom does the person, the citizen who goes to work and see? That's what happened in DC. See, in DC, the criminal had a lot of freedom, but you know who did not have freedom in DC? The citizen. And the citizen today, if you ask and interview any citizen in DC, black, white, purple, or brown, they are ecstatic because they have freedom now. The citizens. Not the criminal. Before Trump came, the criminal was free to run and carjack. But now in DC, the citizen is the one who has the freedom to walk around, and they didn't feel like that. Ask anybody in DC. They didn't feel free. They didn't feel free to walk around. They were afraid of being carjacked and crime. Mrs. Perfect Thomas said, I just want to know where and how they are obtaining all these illegal firearms with extended clips and 100-round drums and switches like someone is just dumping them in the hood. That's an excellent question. So I was talking about immigrant children who join the armed forces versus the children of Chicago. So what I highlighted Cody's comment because there is a culture in South Chicago, and it's kept in South Chicago. There is a culture in East St. Louis. Is anybody listening? Is this thing on? Hey, Lucy, I see you, Lucy. Is this thing on? There is a culture in East St. Louis. You know what's sad though? You know what's disgusting? You know what's disgusting about the comment? You know what's disgusting about the Democrats? You know what's disgusting about Democratic leadership when I say this? There is a culture in East St. Louis. There is a culture in Flint. There is a culture in Detroit that we all know about. And we must be, you know what's sick and perverted? That we condone that culture, because if we were not okay with that culture, you know, we celebrate it via the music. Sexy Red from East St. Louis. We are celebrating the perversion. When you see and hear Sexy Red, you have to understand that she represents a perverted, illogical, backward thinking culture of East St. Louis that is filled with gang, murder, single parent homes, sexually transmitted diseases. Can we have a real talk this morning? Can we have a real talk this morning? Double tap, hit the like button. I need 100 likes 5 minutes ago. When you see Sexy Red celebrated, how many people understand that Sexy Red and King Von are elevating the cultures of South Chicago, the negative, pervasive, perverted culture of East St. Louis? Because you don't live in East St. Louis. Why would you ever go to East St. Louis? It's dangerous. So what you don't know about East St. Louis and Sexy Red is it's not a joke. You look at Sexy Red and you think you see a clown or some caricature. You do not understand that she is representative of this pervasive, perverted, degenerate culture that we must be okay with, because not only do we allow it, but via Sexy Red, via King Von, via Little Dirk, we elevate it. We celebrate it. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? That's why it's so ignorant when you come in my chat and say, we want freedom from MAGA and we want to protect American culture. You want to protect Sexy Red. Can we have a real honest talk this morning? I need 100 likes. We need 100 likes. Double tap and hit the like. Double tap, hit the like button. Three ellipses in the top right hand corner. Hit the thumbs up. Double tap, 100 likes 5 minutes ago. You want to protect Sexy Red. Can we just be honest about the truth? You want to protect this perverted culture because why else not fix the problem? Democrats don't want to fix the problem. Why? Because these are Democrat enclaves. Democrats own East St. Louis. The Democrats own South Chicago. It's not fair to say Chicago has a problem. It's not fair to say Chicago has a problem. It's not fair. I'll give you that, Mayor. I'll give you that, Mayor. But it is an understanding that South Chicago is crime ridden with a pervasive, perverted gang culture that believes 50 shootings in a weekend is normal. Can we be honest? Yes, in certain parts of Chicago, it is beautiful and gorgeous. I would love to visit. But in South Chicago, it is extremely dangerous and it has become normal to shoot and kill and murder. Now, the same is true in East St. Louis. This culture is pervasive. South Sacramento, a triple homicide, a multi-million-dollar shot spotter system, and no one even came, no one called. Do you understand? Let's break this down. How in a major American city, in an apartment, the Sacramento is the capital of California. Sacramento is the capital. It's not a small town. California is the largest state. California has the largest number of electoral votes. California is the fifth largest economy. So we should have money. Gavin Newsom is always bragging about how great California is, how great California is doing, yet and still an 18-year-old boy is involved in a triple homicide. An 18-year-old boy is involved in a triple homicide robbery gone wrong. But wait, multiple shots fired, multiple dead bodies, but no one calls the police. No one calls the police. But wait a minute, we have a special technology. We have a special every year. Listen, it's a yearly budget for the special technology called a shot spotter system. And if there's a gun shooting, we will know. But wait a minute, nobody knew. Nobody knew what's happening in American cities. Well, I think this is the culture that Cody wanted to protect. Do you guys realize after a certain point, after a certain number of shootings, after a certain number of deaths, I have to assume that the culture that they want to protect is death and murder, and they are mad at Trump and MAGA for wanting to stop. Trump said DC is a safe zone. Trump said DC is a safe zone. How about Chicago be a safe zone? I'm afraid to say this, but if Chicago became a safe zone, guess who will stop dying? Can anybody guess who will stop dying? I'm not a Democrat, so I don't want to go racial because the Democrats make everything racial. Did you see the Chicago mayor? Are we going to stand together? But if Chicago became a safe zone because the parts of Chicago are already safe and beautiful. It's very affluent. It costs a lot of money to live in Chicago, but there are parts of Chicago that are very deadly. So what if Chicago became a safe zone like DC? Who begins to live? Who doesn't get shot? Can anybody put in the chat? If Chicago became a safe zone, who stops dying? I don't know. Maybe it ain't worth talking about because we must be okay with the people who are dying. The Chicago mayor must be okay. See, I'm leaving out race. I'm leaving race out of it because if Trump would have came to Chicago over Labor Day weekend, 7 people would be alive right now. I want to talk to those families. Can anybody interview those families? 7 families were affected by gun violence and murder in an inner city of America. This is not the desert. This is not Fallujah. This is not Iraq. This is an American city, a beautiful America. Chicago is gorgeous. Chicago had the World's Fair. They're beautiful. The Empire State Building. I mean, Chicago is gorgeous. It should be a place that we all go visit. We got the college. It's famous museums, institute, famous. The college in Chicago created all type of history and curriculum. We should be able to visit there. Intellectuals know the history of Chicago, but no one wants to go to Chicago. No one knows the rich history of Chicago because it's so dangerous. We got to get the likes up. Everybody watching, double tap, hit the like button. I've been flowing, I'm in a good mood. We having a good show, but the problem is we don't have enough likes. So we need 100 likes. We need 100 likes 5 minutes ago. Everybody watching, do like this, double tap the screen, go like this. Ellipsis in the top right hand corner is called the ellipsis. It's on YouTube. We give you choices. The Republicans don't give you choices. We give you choices here. Donald Trump wants to stop murder in Chicago. I want him to stop murder in Chicago. He's already stopped murder in DC. You know what I wanted to talk about this morning? Thank you, Cody, for that. Because I wanted to talk about what Cody said. Cameron Porter said hi. Thank you, Cameron. I wanted to talk about what Cody said. Cody talked about a certain type of American culture, and I'm so happy he brought that up because what I see in East St. Louis, what I see in South Sacramento, what I see in South Chicago is a culture that has become pervasive, but no one wants to do anything about it. And the Democrats seem to be profiting off of this culture. And I think the time has come that we make America great again. You know what's so fantastic about today and the fantastic about this channel? Like, we were talking about geopolitical, we were overwhelmed. And think about Dave Smith. Think about those fake MAGA Republicans. Think about Dave Smith and those fake MAGA comedians who jump ship on Trump. Remember all those fake MAGA comedians who jumped ship on Trump? We're going to get to what Trump did in Iran. We're going to get to Trump negotiations with Israel and Russia because we got to talk about that V-Day parade. But think about how everybody jumped ship on Trump when he dropped those bombs on Iran. And everybody was upset about the fact that we wanted Trump to focus on America. Dave Smith and all of these cowards, I don't want to vote for Trump. Remember, I can't believe this Trump. I didn't want this. They were all crying. This is why they tried to undergird Trump power but I never would have trusted those comedians because they were too easy to get wiped out. So now, what I would like to point out this morning to Dave Smith, Tim Dillon, all of you cowardly comedians who claim to be MAGA, what about now? No one is discussing geopolitical issues. I'm the first one to point this out. Everybody after my conversation will point this out. But 6 months ago, when Trump took office, you all were terrified of World War III. You all were terrified of all these geopolitical concerns across the board. But now we're focused on American cities and American crime. Trump is the man. Can we get a hoorah for Trump? All we do is win Wednesday. All we do is win Wednesday. You were concerned about inflation. You were concerned about global conflict. You were concerned about Iran, Israel, all of these things. But we are talking about Chicago. We can't get Chicago out the news because what we did in D.C. And we talking about Shreveport, Louisiana. For the first time on the global stage, the American city and death and all of the Black death is #1 topic. And Trump, I thought Trump was racist. Why would Trump want to clean up all of these Democratic Black cities and stop all the Black death if Trump is racist? They said Trump is racist. They said Trump is racist. But look at what's happening. We are focusing on American cities. For Black MAGA, if anybody, I don't want to go racial, but anybody who Black MAGA, anybody that's a Black conservative, I know you saying hoorah, Hoorah. This is what we wanted. Focus on American cities. Focus on these single parent homes. Focus on the perverted culture being created on these single parent homes. Let's talk about what happened to the fathers. Well, let's talk about what happened to the fathers. Let's bring fathers and families back. Let's make fathers and families a thing again across all races, across all demographics. How about fathers and men matter? We had to deal with for 12 years toxic masculinity, Title IX, men are evil. We hate men. Black Lives Matter said we don't want no fathers. Black Lives Matter said we don't want no men. The Me Too movement. Time's up. 12 years of poo-pooing on American men. American boys didn't even want to go to college. American boys scared to go to college. American boys scared to go to church because they didn't feel comfortable in church. American boys not feeling comfortable in college. American boys not feeling comfortable in sports. Yeah, Title IX, DEI, LGBTQI, putting girls with boys. The boys for the past 12 years, imagine what we did to everybody. We screwed everybody up. I'm talking about perversion. I'm talking about perversion. What freedom do they want to protect? What freedom do they want to protect? I need to know. Can you tell me what you want? I think you want to protect the perversion that was of the last 12 years. Trump got rid of Title IX. Trump got rid of the Department of Education. And I want to say, young men, young American boys, don't just let the immigrants come here and get all the education. Don't just let the immigrants come here and work hard. I want to call out young American men, black, white, purple, green, brown, go back to college, go back to church, get married again. Young American men, go back. We need you. We need more police officers. We need more ICE agents. We need more soldiers. Young American boys, for so long they told you that you weren't valuable, that you weren't needed. Well, guess what we're going to say today on the Perfect Timing Podcast, on this MAGA forward, all we do is win Wednesday. American boys, we love you. Young American men, we love you. We need you. Go back to college. Go back to church. Join the armed service. Yo, American people love you and need you. How long has it been? How long has it been since you've heard that? Right now, this is, you know what I thought about as I say, I love you to the young American men. What's wrong with this clown in Chicago? What's wrong with this clown in Chicago when he's trying to make the citizens upset against the young men of the National Guard? The National Guard are on the weekend. The National Guard go to college. The National Guard are our children. Why would you want Chicago citizens upset at American kids who just joined the National Guard to get through college? What's wrong with this clown in Chicago? What's wrong with this clown in Chicago? You want American citizens upset with their own children? What he's not. See, this is the one thing I want to. He's not bringing in private security. When Cody said freedom from MAGA, and they are the Democrats are framing this like this is tyranny. Trump is not bringing in Blackwater. Trump is not bringing in private security. Trump isn't hiring a foreign entity to come and police Chicago. Can we have a real talk this morning? I just want to know. I got some hot tea. Can we have a Cody? Okay, Cody, let's hear what Cody had to say. The rights written in the Constitution, that's the freedom I'm talking about. The first and fourth, that sort of thing. The things that Trump said he wants to change, it has violated time and again. So the first is the freedom of speech. We on YouTube. Trump, the Democrats wanted to get rid of TikTok. Trump allowed you to keep TikTok. We're on YouTube right now. One of the greatest inventions invented by Americans, an American company, and we are freedom of speech. You are disagreeing with me. Do you know how free you are? We are on YouTube, an American social media platform. People globally can view me. People globally can discuss, agree or disagree. You are one of those people. You are living in the greatest time of America. You are living in the greatest country of all time. So when you say first and fourth, I think I'm glad you went and did your research. But again, sir, you're wrong. We are on social media, sir, and you are disagreeing with me. There is no more freedom than you could ever experience in this lifetime. That's why immigrants are running here right now. There is no more freedom than you can experience right now. And even though you make an ignorant comment, I'm going to allow you to stay in the chat because you are free. You are free to be stupid in America. Why does he ban networks for? The press room. What about due process? You need to do some more research. You need to do some more. I'm gonna take a sip of this tea. Oh man. Oh man. Oh, this is echinacea. I don't know what this is. This guy is uninformed. Tell me how I'm uninformed. The big beautiful bill in 2021, your tax return check will be cut in half. Let's talk about the big beautiful bill and your tax return check will be cut in half real quick. And then somebody said I'm uninformed. So I like that people are here having a conversation. I got the hottest chat. I got the hottest podcast. Join the channel right now. Double tap, hit the like button. When you subscribe, it's going to give you a plus sign, give you an option to join the channel. If you join the channel, membership has its privileges. Yesterday, we had 10 people join the channel. We got like 20 members. Thank you to everybody who joined the channel. Thank you to everybody who donated yesterday. We had a donate-a-thon. I was so taken aback. I was in tears. It was emotional. Shout out to all my members. Shout out to all my subscribers. I love you. This is the greatest podcast every morning, politically, intellectually in charge. Yeah, man, join the channel, join the conversation. Let's get into this big, beautiful bill because I did bring it up earlier. And you make an excellent point. And one of the things, every day we got to hit a couple different points. So I thank you. Who is this? Matrix, you've been here before, so you know how this go. You really do know how this go. You know how this go? How does this go? Why did the big, beautiful bill pass so quickly and so easily? And I do believe it will affect your tax return. And I do believe some Americans will, and that's a great discussion. But why was it so easy to pass that bill? Why aren't we discussing the big beautiful bill? Why are you so upset about Chicago not killing all the gangbangers? Why you want people to die in Chicago? Why is everybody okay with death in Chicago? I think we should be discussing the big beautiful bill. It's trillions of dollars in legislation, $1 trillion tax cuts. It's a lot to talk about. Why was it so easy to pass? Well, I'm going to tell you, Matrix. The reason the big, beautiful bill passed and you going to get ate up in your tax return is because your Democrats are celebrity millionaires. Your Democrats are celebrity millionaires and they agree with trickle-down economics. The Republicans agree with Reaganomics and trickle-down economics. The big, beautiful bill is reminiscent of Reaganomics. We can debate whether or not Reaganomics worked or I agree with Reaganomics. You might be surprised on whether or not I agree because I'm not a millionaire. I don't benefit from the big beautiful bill. You know who does benefit from the big beautiful bill? Nancy Pelosi benefits from the big beautiful bill. Maxine Waters benefits from the big beautiful bill. Adam Schiff, Lisa Cook, Letta James, the multi-millionaire Democrats who did not fight the passing of the big beautiful bill will, while you get a cut, while you lose money. That's why I said, listen to what this is. This is such a great comment from a hater and a troll. While your tax return is cut in half, not Nancy Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi will get a tax cut. Can we be honest? Can we have a real talk this morning about the big, beautiful bill and Democrats? Yes, you are very right. Most of us, me and you, we're not millionaires. Me and you and most people in the chat, not millionaires, will not get that tax break. Hello, we will not get that tax break. We will incur more money, right? More expenditures. But the majority of your Democrats who happen to be multimillionaires, they for the people, they ain't raised the minimum wage, they will get a tax cut. Now, can we have an honest conversation or do you want to bring up deflect? Do you want to deflect? Let's deflect. Huh? Let's do the Democrat dance where we bring up another subject and we bring up another topic. Let's deflect, huh? Let's talk about some. This guy is uninformed. I don't care if Nancy Pelosi gets a tax break. Do you get what's going on? This is why the Young Turks and what's her name? Amanda Seals had that debate, the 20 versus 1. Democrats debating Democrats. Because Democrats are splintered idiots. Democrats versus Democrats. Okay? Like what is it, man? Your Democrats were okay with the big beautiful bill because they want the tax break. They want all the benefits, and they are not raising your minimum wage. So you can stay poor and they are getting richer. I mean, come on, man. It's like they are pimping you. You are being pimped by the Democratic Party. No minimum wage, no investment. California lost Tesla to Texas. So California under Gavin Newsom loses jobs. Gavin Newsom says, Tesla, bye. Poor people in California and San Francisco, you go steal. Go be homeless. Go have a boo-boo on the street and then go steal. You can steal up to $1,000 and I'm not going to put you in jail. I'm not going to fight to get jobs. I'm not going to fight to keep Tesla here, but I'm going to give you a law that allows this the culture. This the culture. This is the culture of Chicago, Sacramento, East St. Louis. This is the culture you want to protect. In East St. Louis, I presented to you that they have a point system. Remember, we did the article about the violence in East St. Louis, about the carjacking going up 200% in East St. Louis, because in East St. Louis, the Democratic enclave, they have a point system because they believe it's not the kid's fault. It's not the single parent home. It's the community, right? It's the father. Blame fathers and blame white men, right? Blame Trump. Evil Trump and evil black fathers. So in East St. Louis, these little YNs have a point system. So they can go out and carjack with a gun and then get out of jail because it's not their fault. No. So we let them out. And guess what they did the next day? They carjacked again. But the Democratic liberals of East St. Louis, the culture that you want to protect, says that these children of single parent homes need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chances, despite what that means for the everyday law-abiding citizen. Imagine living in that reality. That the Democratic liberal policy says that these criminal, felonious children should not be penalized, so they get to reoffend multiple times before ever getting incarcerated or getting incarcerated at all. Who is paying for that? Because if they rob someone once, we give them another chance. They rob someone twice, then we give them another chance. They rob somebody 3 times, someone gets murdered. So now, how many citizens? Who's protecting the citizens? How many citizens are affected by these young people from single parent homes that we think deserve a second chance, that they want to argue in the chat need to be protected? I want to protect the citizens getting robbed. Anybody think I drank the Kool-Aid? Please, Jose, explain to me. Jose, are you a thug? Let's do this real quick. Come on, let's educate Jose. Jose, are you a thug? Are you a criminal? Come on, let's help Jose. Let's help everyone out that feels like Jose, that because they see my skin color, they think I should feel empathy for criminals. Let's help Jose out. They see a black man, they hear MAGA, they hear conservative, and they think I should empathize with criminals. Not that I should be on the side of law, order, God, country, paying taxes, going to work, loving my family. Can we help out Jose? Can we help him out? Because he thinks that I should be on the side of the or empathize with criminal behavior, the criminal culture in St. Louis, right? So he is saying right now that there are single parent, pervasive, perverted single parent culture in South Chicago only, South Chicago, East St. Louis, South Sacramento. That does exist, right? You're saying that does exist. We need 100 likes 5 minutes ago. We need 100 likes 5 minutes ago. So you're saying we do have single parent homes. Single parent homes do produce gangbangers who do murder and carjack. But what are you're saying that you agree with the Democratic ideology that it's not their fault, right? Somehow it's not the child's fault because the mama or I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. It's not the child's fault because the single parent was inadequate. So we should give the child, right? We should give the child numerous chances. Even though you and me, Jose, are product of single parent homes, I didn't get a chance. That's why I got here today. You think JD Vance, hello? Can we have a talk this morning? Can we have I don't have enough likes. We need 100 likes, man. Double tap, hit the like, share, and subscribe, man, right now. JD Vance is a product of a single parent home. So you think single parent homes are only one way, right? And you think single parent homes don't need to be held accountable, right? No, I disagree with you because we wouldn't have a JD Vance. If we say that the single parent home shouldn't be held accountable, then you wouldn't have me and you wouldn't have a JD Vance, right? You wouldn't have that. So there needs to be consequences and you need to be held accountable. Man, I love JD Vance, man. A lot of people, we've been so distracted by the Democrats because the Democrats been losing so bad. Think about it, you guys. We go live every day. Trump been winning every day. We don't really get to talk about the greatness and who is JD Vance. There's so much hoopla out there that we don't never. So I realize it when I look at the chat, when I bring it up, that people forget. People don't even know JD Vance's story. People don't even know that it's white boys out there that is like that in the Midwest. JD Vance is not a billionaire. Nah, just like Barack Obama, JD Vance from the Midwest, raised by a white grandmother in a single parent home, went to the military, went to college, and did not come from an affluent background. So this is an American success story, and JD Vance is not married to a white woman. JD Vance is not married to a white woman, but we don't never get to talk about how great of a pick JD Vance was. Man, it's so much for me to talk about that I could talk about Kamala Harris and Tim Walz for till the cows come home because it was so idiotic. It was so detrimental to the democratic process. But while we spent time saying how stupid the Democrats was for picking Kamala and Tim Walz, we haven't gave JD Vance his props. And everybody just want to say negative things, but you tell me, as we talk about the perversion of the single parent home, we talking about Chicago violence. We talking about Trump going to Chicago to stop violence. So I am bringing up JD Vance is from a single parent home, brother. Can I mean, the Democrats in trouble. I don't know who you got. Who you gonna run against JD Vance? When he bring up his wife, when he bring up his history, his story, how he got here, who he is, who you gonna run against JD Vance? I mean, because the negative press and everybody wants to say something stupid, that's not gonna float. Certain things don't float. It's gonna fall to the bottom. What's gonna rise to the top is cream rise to the top. So JD Vance, after everybody say all the comedian jokes and everything, what's left is a real American success story. You gotta just be, it's same thing like the big beautiful bill passing. What's left is a young man who came from a single parent home in the Midwest, who wasn't supposed to be in the White House. I don't know about you, but who do you want in the White House? People talk about they don't want a billionaire in the White House. I was talking about too many millionaire Democrats. Who do you want in the White House? Do you want somebody who grew up in a real American home, who know about real American kitchen table issues. Hello, some rich people never had to pay bills. JD Vance comes from a real American home. JD Vance was had to get a scholarship for college. He understands real American kitchen table politics, not because I say so, because he lived it. Because he lived it. How do you compete with that? Cody Young said, Barney Sanders, that's who I want. He's gonna be dead. He gonna be dead. He gonna be dead. This is a problem in the country. That's another reason why JD Vance is such a great pick. JD Vance is such a great pick because everybody else is a baby boomer. We're past the baby boomers. We are done with baby boomer leadership. So I need you guys to become more intellectual and more politically advantageous so you can understand what we're talking about here. Bernie Sanders, I love you. But we're past the baby boomers. And that's why JD Vance is such a great pick because it was forward thinking politics, forward, moving the country forward. MAGA is moving the country forward. Today, you know what I'm so happy about today is that we in MAGA can look at Dave Smith, Tim Dillon, all of you clowns and say, look at the focus. Where are we focused? On every news outlet. No one is talking about geopolitical. No one is talking about World War III. No one cares. China had a V-Day parade today. And nobody cares. China want to roll out all of their army and the BRICS nations and everything, and nobody cares. I love it. I don't care, China. Have a parade. Can anybody in the chat say, China, have a parade? Have a parade. Double tap, hit the like, man. We need more likes, man. Double tap, hit the like button, man. Thumbs up, double tap, hit the like button. Everybody say, China, have a parade, man. Have a parade because yeah, good on them, man. Just good on them. I'm happy for you, man. Jesse said good on them, man. But what we're focused on today is MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. All we do is win Wednesday, making America strong. And you know what I love? And you know what I love about this thing, the gift that God gave me is that when I bring out these truths, it makes the trolls upset. The trolls want to bring up something else. I see you in the chat. The trolls want to bring up something else, but they hate when I bring up the honest truth. Every news channel, every YouTube channel is talking about Chicago, DC, and the death and the shootings that took place over Labor Day weekend in America. The prevalent discussion point for September 1st is America, American cities, American cities. I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be happier. I know the trolls are upset. I know the trolls might not like it, but I couldn't be happier. How many people are happy? I love it. I love Trump. I love America. I love MAGA. Don't you love it? They wanted us to be focused on Zelensky. They wanted us to be focused on Putin. They wanted us to be focused on Xi Jinping and all this shit that ain't got nothing to do with us. It ain't got nothing to do with your baby. I said I live in Sacramento. Hello? I live in Sacramento. A triple homicide. I live in Sacramento. A triple homicide and no one knew. How you think that make me feel? How you think that make me feel? How do you feel as a citizen? Anybody live in Chicago? How you feel? I had some people in my chat the other day saying, I live in Chicago. How does it feel to live in Chicago, having this debate, knowing that there were 50 shootings and 7 people dead over the weekend, knowing that if Trump would have came, you wouldn't have had that much death? How does it feel living in these areas for people who live in East St. Louis, for people who see Sexy Red walking around all the time? I live here, bring the troops. He said, Lord Dre Vaughn said, I live here, bring the troops. That's what I'm saying in Sacramento. I live here, bring the troops. Why do I need to empathize with the criminal? I want to know why the police getting paid when there's a triple homicide, and then they want to debate. This was on the city council. Should we pay for the shot spotter? It's not a one-time bill. The shot spotter is supposed to listen for gunshots and then report that back to the agency, but it's $1 million a year. It's a budget increase of millions of dollars a year. But so how do you justify that when you have a triple homicide and it doesn't work? You have a triple homicide and it doesn't work. So what do you do in these American cities? So we have a triple homicide over the weekend. We got 7 homicides in Chicago. And now Trump has signed an initiative. He's created a task force of National Guard, our children, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds who join and enlist in the military for the weekend. Everybody know what the National Guard is, right? Do you understand when I'm explaining the ins and outs of the National Guard when they're not Blackwater? They're not this third, this foreign entity. The National Guard are kids who join up for weekends. We ain't talking about highly trained killers coming to Chicago to hurt black people. The Democratic mayor of Chicago make me sick. The Democratic mayor of Chicago make me sick. The Democratic leadership of Chicago make me sick. We ain't talking about trained killers coming to Chicago. Anybody in the chat got some intelligence? We ain't talking about trained killers, Blackwater agents, third-party foreign entities. We ain't talking about trained mercenaries. We're not talking about trained mercenaries. We're not talking about why don't the Democrats be honest? You know what it kind of reminded me of? It kind of reminded me of how they suggested that Trump acted on January 6th. I watched January 6th. I don't think Trump incited the crowd. But if you watch the Chicago mayor, he seems very insightful with his words. And the thing that I find odd is that when they talk about Trump coming to Chicago, they're not being honest about who the National Guard is, how much actual training the National Guard has, how much, things the National Guard does. National Guard are weekend warriors. Can we have an honest talk? Can we have an honest talk? Because they're making you think like some sniper, a murderous trained soldier is coming to your city. That's not what's coming to your city. Nobody got hurt in DC. We're talking about the National Guard, weekend warriors. They don't get deployed. National Guard don't get deployed overseas. These are not people who've been to Baghdad, Iraq, coming to your city, treating your city like Baghdad and Iraq. That's not what this is. National Guard. Huh? National Guard. Did he say I'm gonna bring in the 8th Battalion or SEAL Team 6 or anything like that? He didn't say I'm bringing in the Army Rangers. Is this thing on? Trump didn't say I'm bringing in the Army Rangers. Hello? Is this thing on? Trump did not say I'm bringing in the Army Rangers. Trump said the National Guard. Your daughter, your son, who only go on the weekend, who do limited exercises, the National Guard, who do limited exercises, is coming to Chicago. They're not coming to kill nobody. Why don't they be honest? The National Guard ain't coming to do nothing to you, man. That ain't what they do. They don't even train for that. Hello? They don't even train for it. The Democratic leadership of Chicago is getting the citizens all riled up as if they need to be worried about something. The National Guard doesn't even train for that. They're not trained to do any of those things. There's no concern. They're going to be a presence in Chicago. There's no concern. There's no need for the Chicago mayor to be doing what he's doing, and he should have more respect for the National Guard. He should have more honor for America. He should have more respect and honor for America, his country, and the people. You know how proud I am of anyone who has the heart and the time to volunteer, because that's what they are doing. They are volunteering their weekends. How many people are grateful to the National Guard? How many people are grateful? How many people are grateful? I think it's treasonous for you to talk all that crap about the National Guard. How many people are grateful that the National Guard exists? How many people thank you for your service? I want to say right now, put it in the chat. Thank you for your service. For everybody in the National Guard who sacrificed for their country, who sacrificed for their community. I tell you, we don't do enough thank you. We don't do enough thank you. We don't tell enough people thank you. We have all this negative, but we don't say thank you, man. They are doing a job that a lot of people don't want to do. We already debating and arguing how much is needed. I just had somebody in the chat who's from Chicago who said bring the troops. So this is a job that needs to be done. Are you gonna do it? Who gonna do it? It's a hard job. Being a soldier is a hard job. Being a National Guardsman is a hard job. Being an ICE agent is a hard job. Being a police officer is a hard job. That's why you don't want to do it. That's why you don't want to do it. But we need, this is what we had this debate. Being a firefighter, right now we got fires in California, wildfires. Being a firefighter is an extremely difficult job. But if we don't have people who sacrifice, think about this. If we don't have men who sacrifice and become firefighters, then we don't have the necessary boundary we have to protect the community. And we saw that in LA. If we don't encourage, so I don't agree with the perverted idea that we talk down on the National Guard. We need to uplift the National Guard, uplift it as an opportunity, uplift the individuals and thank them and thank Trump, not to put disparaging remarks on the individuals who may come help you stop murder in your city. How about you go to Chicago high schools and you talk to Chicago kids about joining the National Guard? How about that? I'm gonna play a news report from Trump. Trump said Trump on the National Guard deployment to Chicago. This isn't a political thing. I have an obligation. When 20 people are killed over the last 2.5 weeks, 75 are shot with bullets. We're going in. We're going in. That's what I said in my thumbnail. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm gonna go ahead and hit this vape while we watch this. It's a good couple minutes. Give me a chance to hit this vape real quick.
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in. When you lose, look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing. I have an obligation. When we lose, when 20 people are killed over the last 2.5 weeks, and 75 are shot with bullets. So let me tell you a little story about a place called DC, District of Columbia, right here where we are. It's now a safe zone.
That's right.
We have no crime. It's in such great shape. You can go and actually walk with your children, your wife, your husband. You can walk right down the middle of the street. You're not going to be shot, Peter.
Amen.
You're safe. Everyone likes you anyway. They probably wouldn't do it. But it's so dangerous. And there are people in this audience that you've suffered greatly. There are people in this audience that have been mugged and hurt badly, and they don't want to talk about it. Maybe you were very brave in talking about it. You made quite an impression on a lot of people. I appreciate it. But there were other people in this room that have been hurt very badly just walking down the street in D.C. Washington, D.C. is a safe zone right now. It's a safe city. The restaurants are open. They're booming. You can't get a restaurant. New restaurants are announcing that they're going to be open. This took place in 12 days. Now it's 15 days, but 3 days ago, it became what's known as a safe zone. It's a safe city. And this city was really bad. Really, really bad. We took 1,600 people out, hardcore criminals that will not be coming back anytime soon. And we're very proud of it.
Wow.
You know, to have our nation's capital.
1,600 arrests. That's the first time I've heard that number, you guys. Did you hear that? 1,600 arrests. Wow.
Every week, you know, it's like years, many years, where every single week somebody was killed for many many, many consecutive weeks. This went on for years. And then we had last week, it was announced that nobody was killed last week. And I made that announcement in front of a very distinguished leader of a country. And I'm saying proudly, ladies and gentlemen, nobody was killed in Washington, D.C. this week. He looked at me like, what's that all about? I said, yeah, we have a little bit of a crime problem, and we don't have a crime problem in Washington anymore. And the mayor has been very helpful, and the police commissioner has been very helpful, and it's been a great team. And I would love to have Governor Pritzker call me. I gain respect for him and say, we do have a problem, and we'd love you to send in the troops, because you know what? The people, they have to be protected. I saw today on one of your networks, not a friendly network, except really the opposite, I would say, very unfriendly network. And they interviewed about 12 people on this morning. Most of them were African American, who were Black. And they were saying, please, please, please let the president send it. These were people from Chicago.
South Chicago.
Please, we need help.
We need help.
We can't walk outside. We're petrified. If the governor of Illinois would call me up, I would love to do it. Now, we're going to do it anyway. We have the right to do it because I have an obligation to protect this country.
Let's go, Trump. Let's go.
Baltimore, I saw where Governor Moore was asking me to take a walk down the street of Baltimore. Well, Baltimore is a very unsafe place. It's rated number 4 in the city, one of the most unsafe places anywhere in the world. But, you know, we took care. This was a beautiful thing that happened because we showed that it could be done. And this wasn't just sending big, strong guys, and they are big and they are strong. You know, we had a great decision from the Supreme Court that had to do with sort of talent. It had to do with you are put down based on merit. You can hire based on merit. So merit for a soldier or for a policeman is strong, physically fit, something, you know, having a certain ability, not a person that is woke and got the job through woke, but wasn't strong enough to lift a gun out of the holster, et cetera, et cetera. No, I looked at the police, as you know, last week I went over, we had a meeting there had to be 300 people, and they were all very impressive looking. And when the bad guys see them, they're not going to do a thing. And so I'm very proud of Washington. It serves as a template, and we're going to do it elsewhere. But Chicago is certainly going to be high. I would love to have him call. I would love the governor of Illinois. I'd be honored to take his call. All he has to do is say, sir, we need help. It's out of control. And everyone knows it is. He's not kidding anyone. I would love to have, I would say, Governor Moore call, because I watched him over the weekend trying to explain that Baltimore, what they need is housing. No, they don't need housing. They need to get rid of the criminals. These are hardcore criminals. You know, we took many people off the streets of Washington, D.C. They're hardcore. They're not going to be good. In 10 years, in 20 years, in 2 years, they're going to be criminals. They were born to be criminals, frankly. They were born to be criminals, and they're tough and mean, and they'll cut your throat, and they won't even think about it the next day. They won't even remember that they did it. And we're not going to have those people. Washington, D.C. is now a safe zone. It's a safe place. And you can walk, Katie, you can walk right down the street with, by the way, one of the biggest human beings I've ever seen, which is her husband. He was a football player for like 11 years in the NFL. He's a big person. But big doesn't mean anything when they have guns and when they have knives and everything else that they have, right? But you can walk right down the street, even by yourself, and you're totally safe. Washington, D.C. is a great thing. Yes, ma'am.
Hit the like button. Hit the like button right now. Double tap, hit the like button. Hit the 3 ellipses in the top right-hand corner, man. Double tap, hit the like button. Perfect Timing Podcast, the #1 conservative media station on the channel. That was Trump, 6 minutes in the White House right now. We are coming. We have the authority. We got approval from the Supreme Court. It would be great if the governor would admit that there's a problem in Chicago and he would invite Trump in, but it doesn't matter. You heard it here today. I don't know if this is the first time. I know my audience been listening to, we predicted it last week, but right now, first time this morning, Trump says, regardless if the governor wants it or not, we are on our way to Chicago. We gave him a chance. 70 shootings. He just quoted all the numbers we've been quoting all for the last 2 weeks. 70 shootings, multiple death and murder. He said we do not have to get permission. It would be great if we had permission, but as I reported here last week, the Supreme Court has approved Trump's envoy, and they are going from DC, where now just the other day DC has been designated as a safe zone. Can we get props for MAGA and Trump? All we do is win Wednesday. All we do is win, 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 win. All we do is win, 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 no matter what. And if you got your hands in the air, let them stay there. And if you came for MAGA, put your hands in the air, let them stay there. Man, look. DC is a safe zone. He said nobody has been shot in DC in over a week. He can't say nobody black been shot, but we all know. He did say that black people in DC are very happy about having freedom to go out to the park. We talked earlier about whose freedom is more important, the freedom of the criminal to be a thug or the freedom of the citizen, the law-abiding, tax-paying citizen to actually enjoy this American life that we supposed to work so hard for. Trump said that black professionals and white professionals of DC can now enjoy DC as a safe zone. No shootings in DC for over 13 days. You heard the statistic here. No shootings for 5 days. Nobody black shot in Chocolate City for over 13 days. Yeah, I said it. Chocolate City. What is Chocolate City? Washington, D.C. is Chocolate City. We have been talking about black on black crime. I don't like using the term black on black crime because I know it's a Democratic talking point, but the fact of the matter is black lives are being saved by your president. And I just want to say that American lives are being saved. So what we need to take home from today is that there used to be a phrase called Black Lives Matter. And I remember a lot of my white colleagues would say, how about we say all lives matter? Or all American lives matter. What we are seeing today with MAGA, with Trump, is all lives matter. I have to ask the Democrats because, a lot of people didn't like Black Lives Matter. So I have to ask the Democrats because I don't believe Black Lives Matter to the Democrats. So I want to ask the Democrats and the liberals who don't want Trump, who allow 7 deaths over the weekend because Trump would have been there, they would have been alive. Do you believe all lives matter? Because I don't believe that you believe Black Lives Matter. I don't believe that, Democrats, because black people died this weekend in Chicago. So I need to ask you, do you believe all lives matter? Because I argue that President Trump believes that all lives matter. That is why he is doing this. Because it's not just about black life, it's about all life. All American. That's what MAGA is. MAGA is MAGA. MAGA strong. Make America great again. All we do is win Wednesday. Make America great again. MAGA strong. That's what it is. It's all lives. Now the Democrats, I really question. I question the Democratic leadership of Chicago and Illinois. Do they believe that all lives have value? Because why did they allow so many people to die this weekend? Why did you not invite Trump into your house? Do you want to condone and protect the GDs, the BDs, the vice lords? See, people in my chat say I drank the Kool-Aid. So I asked the people in my chat, who do you think deserves freedom? Do the BDs and the GDs, the Little Dirks and the King Vons? Who deserves the freedom? Who deserves the protection? Because it's perverted. All of you who think that you, because of your skin color, have to empathize with thugs, let me free you from your bondage. Let me free you from your bondage. You have no loyalty. You do not have to have any loyalty to any criminal. I don't care if your father was in the gang. I don't care if your brother was in the gang. I don't care if your mother was in the gang. You do not owe anybody any loyalty. The only person you owe loyalty to is yourself, your God, and your country. Amen. Yourself, your God, and your country. Amen. You don't owe any loyalty to any drill mentality or culture of Chicago, any gangster culture of LA, any thuggery of St. Louis. You don't owe that anything. You simply because you have melanin in your skin doesn't mean you have to empathize with every little hoodlum who gets criminal, who gets shot or killed or put in jail. No, that's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is the same responsibility of every other American. Pay your taxes, go to work, go to school, love your family. And that is easier to do when someone is not carjacking you. I'm going to say that one more time. I'm going to say that one more time. How many people believe me? I said, your responsibility is not to the gang. Your responsibility is not to thuggery, no matter who your parents or your cousin is. Your responsibility is to pay your bills and to go to school and to love your family. I forgot the last part. I'll be coming up with so much good stuff. I'll be forgetting. But your responsibility is not to the gang. Your responsibility is not to criminals, and you don't have to be responsible. You don't have to be associated. You don't have to speak to it. You don't have to speak to it at all. We got Lori Lightfoot. We're gonna watch Lori Lightfoot. We're gonna watch a couple other ones. Hold on, let me see if I got a doobie. That last video was 6 minutes, man. I smoked me a good doobie. Oh. Doobie you, where are you? We got some smoke to do now. Doobie you, where are you? And we can catch that feeling. You know we got a little doobie snack. That's a fact. And if you fire up, I might just pass you a doobie back. Pass it back. Woo! Doobie you, where are you? We got some smoke to do now. I said, if I can count on you, doobie do, a doobie shooby doobie do out. If I can count on you, a doobie do, a shooby doobie do out. If I can count on you, a doobie do, a shooby doobie do out. If I can count on you, a doobie do, a shooby doobie do out. Hey, man.
To straw purchasers that flood into our city.
It'd be better if you did.
Common sense,
hey,
gun
man.
reform.
He said, Matt McConaughey, he said, hey, man, you got what? He said, no, it'll be better if you did.
If he really cared about violent crime, go after the gun manufacturers who are just mass producing these weapons and have no liability or accountability. Go after the gun stores that know that they're selling to straw purchasers that flood into our city. Pass common sense gun reform that we have been begging for decades. Those are the kinds of things that actually would make a meaningful difference in violent crime. He's not talking about any of those things. He will not do any of those things because this is not about violent crime. It's about something else. If he really cared about violent crime, go after the gun manufacturers who are just mass producing these weapons and have no liability or accountability. Go after the gun stores that know that they're selling to straw purchasers that flood into our city. Pass common sense gun reform that we have been begging for decades. Those are the kinds of things that actually would make a meaningful difference in violent crime. He's not talking about any of those things. He will not do any of those things because this is not about violent crime. It's about something else.
Do y'all agree with Lori Lightfoot? Lori Lightfoot said, again, it's not the single parents. It's not the children of the single parents. Lori Lightfoot said we need to blame the gun manufacturers. It's the gun manufacturers. It's not the BDs. Listen, Lori Lightfoot, she's from Chicago. Lori Lightfoot said the problem is, it sounds like the mayor, I don't know. I'm telling you, the Democrats love your death. The Democrats want you to die. I think the so the Lori Lightfoot said it's not the GDs, it's not the BDs, it's not the vice lords. No, no, no. It's not the pervasive gang culture of Chicago. Why do I know these names of these gangs? It's like LA. Why do you know the Crips and the Bloods? Why do we know the Crips? We shouldn't know the Crips and the Bloods because it's the culture of LA. Why do we know GD and all this?
But to end gun violence.
Why do we know that? Because it's the pervasive culture, perverted culture. And Lori Lightfoot just said, well, that's not the problem. Who agrees with Lori Lightfoot in the chat that it's the gun manufacturers, not King Von? King Von is not the problem. Little Dirk is not the problem. The gang violence, the projects, the single parent homes, the Section 8, the EBT, the Section 8, the welfare housing, where all the gangs and the single mothers live, where all the gangs violence is. Can I be honest? Can I tell you the welfare housing? Can we Democratic the welfare housing? Can we talk the welfare housing? The projects, those big beautiful projects that you love on 63rd. You know them guys down on 63rd. King Vaughn rapped about them guys on 63rd. You know what's on 63rd? Project housing, welfare housing, filled with single parents and children of single parents, no fathers, no families, just lawlessness, just gangs and guns and butter. That's all we have over there on 63rd. So what are you saying? That's what you want to keep. You want to keep the welfare housing. That's democratic, right? That's democratic. You want to keep the failing school system. That's democratic. Department of Education. You want to keep the failing school system. You want to keep the welfare housing. You want to keep the Section 8 EBT, and you want to keep the single parent homes, because that's not the problem. That's what I heard. That's not the problem. The welfare housing, the EBT, the single parent home, the Section 8, that's not the problem. The gun manufacturer, we figured it out, Lori Lightfoot. Can everybody give Lori Lightfoot some props in the chat? Lori Lightfoot figured it out. Lori Lightfoot taught us this morning. It's not about any of the things. That's why people troll me in the chat. That's why they say I'm uninformed. I must be a dummy. The big dummy, the dummy. I don't know what I'm talking about. Who? Single parent home? Who? No, it's the gun manufacturers who want to be in business. And somebody earlier said the Second Amendment, the First Amendment, I guess the gun manufacturer all of a sudden is living in communist Russia, and the gun manufacturer is no longer an American allowed to pursue his free enterprise, and the gun manufacturer should close his business, not feed his family, because single parent product hoodlums steal guns and kill other single parent kids. Now, the gun manufacturer did not make his guns for single parent kids. Do you guys, I don't know, you may not believe me, but let me surprise you this morning. The gun manufacturer is an American businessman been in business. Some of the rifles go back to the Wild Wild West, Colt 45 and things like that. So this gun manufacturer did not consider your single parent degenerate perversion when he made his gun for protection in the Second Amendment. He didn't design it for Chicago youth. Hello? Is this hello? He didn't design it for Chicago youth. He didn't, but wait a minute. The Democratic leadership says we should put him out of business. Yeah, we should put him out of business. We should take away his business like it's communist Russia. Right? We should put the gun manufacturer out of business. It's America. It's capitalism. But no, the gun manufacturer should not be able to have commerce in a free world, in a free market, because, drum roll please, because we have degenerate single parents who don't know how to raise their kids. So because we have degenerate single parents who don't know how to raise their kids, we're going to wipe out an entire market. It doesn't fix the problem. It doesn't fix the home. It doesn't fix the loneliness surrounding a single parent home and fatherlessness. It doesn't fix the mental health with a broken home. It doesn't fix any of those childhood traumas. But if we get rid of the gun manufacturer, if we get rid of the gun manufacturer, if we get rid of the gun, then we fix childhood trauma. Lori Lightfoot. That's how we fix childhood trauma. That's how we fix childhood trauma. That's how we fix childhood trauma. I didn't know that. Thank you, Lori Lightfoot. Everybody in the chat say thank you, Lori Lightfoot. Get rid of the gun manufacturers to fix childhood trauma, which leads to gangs and murder and violence. Like if you take away the gun, you don't take away the you still have the trauma, and you still have this broken individual who would still commit murder. In Europe, they don't got guns. In the European drill scene, it's all knives. They stab people because they still got the childhood trauma of a broken home. Why in Europe, the European drill scene, and they say they created drill music, but in the European drill scene, they don't carry guns because they're not allowed to carry guns. So they run around stabbing kids. And it's bloody, it's painful, and that's what it is in Europe. That's what it is. That's what drill is in Europe. So it's not about the gun. It's not about the gun. I'm sorry, Lori Lightfoot. It's not about the gun. You're going to have to deal with the trauma and what's making these kids want to kill someone who looks just like them. I got some more video, and I got another doobie. Doobie, doobie, you, where are you? I found you. Let's smoke now. Doobie, doobie, you, where are you? I got some work to do now. If I can count on you, then I gotta take a doobie nap. That's a fact. And I'ma put this up, and then y'all can watch me on the replay back. Replay back. Doobie, doobie, you, where are you?
In Chicago, as long as the president continues to allow tens of thousands of guns to be trafficked into our state and our city. The vast majority of guns do not come from Chicago. They are not made in Cook County. They are not bought in the state of Illinois. These guns come from red states. They are coming from Indiana. They are coming from Mississippi. They are coming from Louisiana. That is the harsh reality, whether Republicans like it or not. Occupying our city will do nothing to solve this problem. We will never be able to end gun violence in Chicago as long as the president continues to allow tens of thousands of guns to be trafficked into our state and our city. The vast majority of guns do not come from Chicago. They are not made in Cook County. They are not bought in the state of Illinois. These guns come from red states. They are coming from Indiana. They are coming from Mississippi. They are coming from Louisiana. That is the harsh reality, whether Republicans like it or not. Occupying our city will do not.
This boy worse than Young Thug. This boy should be YSL. What's his name? I'm gonna change his name to YSL JB, because he dry snitching like a mother. He said it's not my fault. The guns is coming from Mississippi. It's not my fault. The guns coming from Indiana. The guns coming from this state. The gun coming. Okay, YSL JB. Shout out to you, YSL JB. YSL JB just got on the podium and threw about 7 states under the bus. I need to hear a reply from Mississippi. Say, I need everybody to get back on the horn right now and let him have it. Because he said the Vice Lords, the GDs, the BBs, the King Vaughns and Little Dirks, no, that is all Mississippi fault. It's all Indiana fault. It's the red states. And we don't have a problem. And once again, I said it today. I brought it up today. Me first. Democratic talking point. Lori Lightfoot. Lori Lightfoot, YSLJB. The rebuttal, the Democratic talking point is they don't make the guns. God, dog, you can't make this up, baby. They don't make the guns. They don't make the guns. They don't make the guns. Oh, man, really? You could do better, man. They don't make the goods. Wow. Wow, you ain't even trying. Oh, man, we don't make the goods. It's like your cousin. It's like your cousin, man. You know your cousin, you invite him over to come spend the night, so, and he breaks something. Well, I don't make the goods. Hey, that's a new one. Hashtag in the chat. Hashtag, hey, hashtag in the chat, man. If anytime your wife, tonight your wife come home and she say, honey, you didn't take out the trash, say, I don't make the guns. Hey, all my ladies, all my MAGA women in the chat, if your husband come home and say, hey, honey, you didn't do the dishes, say to your husband, I don't make the guns. The algorithm don't like that. Okay, maybe don't say that. The algorithm don't like that. The algorithm don't like that. Well, I think it's funny. I think it's funny because I don't see how that fixes childhood trauma. I don't see how that brings back parents into fatherless homes. But, you know, they said, we don't make the good. YSLJB. Hey, I need that on a t-shirt because the podcast is going up. We're doing great as a podcast. We're growing right now. I would love to have that on a t-shirt. I know it's kind of insensitive, but come on, man. I need everybody. No, the algorithm does not like it, okay? The algorithm don't like that one, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. We don't make the... Honey, did you take out the trash? Honey, did you take out the trash? We don't make the... I don't make the... I'm going to use it. Honey, did you do the dishes? I don't make the... Your wife gonna be, because you know they don't watch this stupid podcast, they don't like this stuff. So your wife gonna be looking back at you like, man, I hate my husband. Your wife gonna be like, I hate my husband. Honey, can you go outside and take the dog? I don't make the... Honey, what does that got to do with anything? Ask the Chicago mayor. And then she gonna be like, forget it. I'll do it myself. That's what we want to know, honey. That's what we want to know. Ask the Chicago mayor. That's what we want to know, honey. What does that have to do with anything, Chicago YSLJB? What does that have to do with anything? So what? They make guns in Mississippi. So what? Imagine having 50 shooters and 7 murders. You tell people something they already know. JB, we already knew they made guns in We already knew they made guns in Mississippi. You not telling me nothing I don't know. But the one thing you telling me is the fact that they make guns in Mississippi, and you're correlating that to your gang violence from traumatized youth. That is hilarious, JB. That is funny. The death is not funny, but you correlating the fact that Mississippi has had gun manufacturing for the past century to your inability to solve gang violence is hysterical. Oh, JB, I love you. I love you, YSL, JB. I love you. You are great fodder for podcast content. We love you, JB. MAGA forever, Jerry John. All we do is win, 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 no matter what. And if you came for MAGA, put your hands in the air, let them stay there. Like, share, subscribe. And while you subscribe, hit the notification bell and join the channel, man. Become a member. You see Ozzy lit up in the chat. You see Mrs. Perfect Timing lit up in the chat. You see Catwalk lit up in the chat. Relax and Talk Sports lit up in the chat. Become a member, man. Membership has its privileges, man. Special access to brand new videos, man. Special emojis, man. I created emojis. See, it'd be a lot of people got memberships. I don't be seeing them with fire emojis, man. It took time. You know, my wife be teasing me, but it took time. I had to create those emojis. It wasn't easy. I brought them over to the channel just for you. When you join the membership, you get access to special emojis that I've joined for you. Your name is highlighted in the chat because we got the most fire round rampus chat in the building. So you want to be here watching this show. You want to be part of this chat. So you want to be lit up in the chat so people could see your voice, let you know that you're important, that you have a voice here on the Perfect Timing Podcast, and you are commanding force here in the chat. So that's why I created this membership. So everybody, because I realized what was going on in the chat. So I'm like, man, let me get a $2 holla because I need to empower some of my knights of the round table. And that's what we did, man. So y'all welcome to join, man. Y'all welcome to join the channel, man. Not hysterical, it's sad. It truly is sad, man, because this is a black man. Hey, shout out to you, brother. That's Waxer 12G. Not hysterical, is sad AF. I have to agree, especially if you interject race. We don't like to interject race because it's a democratic talking point, but this is a black man. It's Black Death. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. It's small. It's sad, it's small, it's shrinking from the responsibility. It's like Jasmine Crockett. It's like getting on the plane and leaving. It's un-American, it's undemocratic. You know what I'm saying? It's vicious, it's callous, it's cold because it says that the death will continue. And it's from someone who looks like the people who are getting murdered. Yeah, man. I like that comment. It's not hysterical, it's sad AF. Yes, it is, Waxer. Yes, it is, especially from him, especially with the governor behind him, especially knowing the truth about how the gang culture is entrenched in your city. Can we have a real talk this morning? Can somebody put my phrase in the chat? I need my phrase in the chat. Can we have a real talk this morning? Especially when we know, going back to Al Capone, especially when we know, going back to Al Capone, how deep, how rich, how thick the gang and mafia culture, not only in Chicago, but in Chicago politics, in Chicago police. We just saw the documentary of Juicy Smollett. Did everybody see the documentary of Juicy Smollett? Did you see the chief of police getting fired for being drunk and not getting his retirement? Who knows about the corrupt Chicago PD? Who knows about the corrupt Chicago PD going back a century? Can we have a real talk this morning? So Mississippi gun factories are responsible for the gang culture in Chicago. Can we have a real talk this morning? We know about gang culture, mafioso culture being entrenched in places like LA, in places like Chicago, in the LAPD. In the LAPD, where they have a problem, where they have a problem with gang banging police officers. I said in the LAPD, where they have a problem with gang banging police officers. Do they have a problem with gang banging police officers in the Chicago PD? Can we have a real talk this morning? You act like we don't know, like we don't got family in Chicago, like this is brand new. Who said, who thinks I'm making something up? Who knows about the rich? The rich, I said the rich, the luxurious, the thick gang culture. Did you know Chicago is Gotham? Did you know Chicago is Gotham? Can we get Gotham in the chat? Can somebody put Gotham in the chat? Can I get the Cape Crusader? I need the Cape Crusader. I need Batman. Batman. Chicago is Gotham. Chicago is rich. thick and luxurious in gang history, gang culture, gang persona, mafioso, going back. How far back? Way back in the time. And it's been a problem. It's been a problem. I'm making it up. Chicago been Gotham. DC been Chocolate City. Going back to a crack smoking mayor. Going back to a crack smoking mayor who gets caught smoking crack. Then the DC electorate re-elects a crack smoking mayor. Two-time crack smoker anonymous. Can we get one time for the crack smoker? Two-time for the crack smoking mayor. Can we get one time, two-time for the crack smoking mayor? Woo! Have a little crack. Have a little crackety crack, crack, crack. Have a little crackety crack, crack, crack. For your moaning, crackety crack, crack, crack. I said in DC, Chocolate City, we had a mayor smoking on the pipe. I said a mayor who likes to smoke all night got caught on tape. Girl, you didn't set me up. 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 And he got caught smoking on a pipe. And the DC electorate said, give us Barabbas. We want him again. We want him again. DC has spiraled into chaos. You know what the Democrats did? They selling crack in front of the White House. They selling crack in front. You know what the Democrats did? Let's put a fence up. Now, Trump want to put a fence up around the border to protect the border. Give a signal to China. Give a signal to Russia. We strong. Our borders are strong. Let's build a wall. Everybody got upset. They didn't understand the concept behind building a wall. America first. America strong. Strong borders. But the Democrats build a wall around the White House. The Democrats could have cleaned up D.C. The Democrats could have brought in No, the Democrats don't want to build a wall on the border. The Democrats don't want strong borders. The Democrats want a wall around Democratic enclaves. Wait a minute. Maybe that's why the violence is only in South Chicago. You think that's like a wall? You think the Democrats maybe put up a wall? See, the violence is only in South Chicago. You think it's like the wall around the White House? You think it's like the wall around protecting the Democratic enclave so liberal Democrats can be behind the wall and shout freedom while you die. Democrats can be behind the wall and shout freedom while you die. Sounds like the Hunger Games. Sounds like the Hunger Games. Why don't the Democrats come on over to the south side of Chicago and talk that shit? Why don't the Democrats come over to the south side of Chicago? Wait a minute. Democrats, come over to the east side of St. Louis. Come down to the east side. No, because we've been talking about St. Louis, but it's not St. Louis. We've been talking about Chicago, but it's not Chicago. Oh, my back is killing me. Oh, don't get old. Don't get old. I'm going to the chat. Waxer, they built the wall to protect their power, not to protect the people. You know, Waxer, I don't know if you're new here, but one of the things I exposed about this whole Chicago thing is, do you guys remember when the Democrats, I gave it away, do you guys remember when they cleaned up San Francisco? So for everybody getting upset, I got a little ammo for you for your back pocket. Next time you're in a debate, bring up the fact that Gavin Newsom, governor of California, cleaned up San Francisco, he used external help like the National Guard to get homeless and feces off the ground because the president of China was coming to San Francisco. When an interview I played on my channel, in the interview, Gavin Newsom admitted, why did I clean up San Francisco? Because he said, yes, I cleaned it up because the Chinese president was coming. Gavin Newsom admits to cleaning city for China president. Trump cleaned up the city for you. Governor Gavin Newsom acknowledged that the streets of San Francisco were cleaned up in preparation for the Asian Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in 2023. He admitted that he cleaned up the city for the Chinese president. Isn't that so important? Thank you for listening. I love when the audience listens and pay attention. It makes the podcast so dynamic. It makes it so dynamic. It makes it so dynamic. Yes, they cleaned it up, but not for you. Let me give you another example because they want you to be mad at Trump cleaning up DC. They want you to be mad at Trump cleaning up Chicago. Let me show you an example of the Democrats who did it first because all American cities are broke. All American cities need to be cleaned up. And that's why they did it first. The Democrats did it first. The Democrats did it first. San Francisco was the first city. Let me show you what he said. Let's see what he said.
I know folks say, oh, they're just cleaning up this place because all those fancy leaders are coming into town. That's true because it's true. But it's also true for months and months and months prior to APEC, we've been having different conversations. It's true.
Can't make it up. You can't make it up. Let's listen to that again. San Francisco was the first city. It wasn't LA. It wasn't DC. It's not even Chicago. The first city to have government control take it over because it had become so dangerous and overran was Democratic broken San Francisco, and Trump wasn't the one who did it. The Democratic governor, Gavin Newsom, took over an American city and cleaned it up. And he did not do it to make life better and safer for American citizens. He did it for the Chinese president, and he admitted it.
I know folks say, oh, they're just cleaning up this place because all those fancy leaders are coming into town. That's true because it's true. But it's also true for months and months and months prior to APEC, we've been having different conversations. It's true because it's true.
Is that your?
It's true because it's true. Not even an argument. Shout out to my chat. I got the best chat. I told you I got the best chat. I got the best chat in the land. Shout out to my chat. Shout out to you for coming in. I haven't even seen you before. You coming in with intelligent commentary, comprehension skills. I just wanted to, because you new here, some people saw that video when I presented it before, but some people never saw that video. But I just, Edward Mitchell, I just subscribed, brother. See, thank you for letting me highlight. Some people never saw that video. Some people think Trump is evil. Some people don't have a good memory. That's why I'm the host. That's why I'm the hostess with the mostest. See, they don't have a good memory. They think Trump is evil. The Democrats lie. The Democrats have a power with the narrative. The Democrats get on social media and put you in a spin cycle. You ever heard the word spin when it comes to news and political media? It's called spin. The spin zone. They put you in the spin zone. But I just showed you the truth. The truth is, the Democrats took over an American city first because American cities are broken. The Democrats took over San Francisco. The same way Trump cleaned up DC, Gavin Newsom cleaned up San Francisco with the same forces. But for a partisan viewpoint, Gavin Newsom wants to point his finger at Trump like he does something wrong or different than Gavin Newsom did when he cleaned up San Francisco. Shh, don't tell nobody. We exposed them this day. We exposed the Democrats. Shh, don't tell nobody. We know the Democrats' secret. We know your secret, Democrats. You like dead people. Shh. The Democrats like dead people. Dead people get Democrats elected. The Democrats like crime. Crime gets Democrats elected. Simon. Oh, you know my name is Simon. I came here trolling, you know. And of course your name is Simon, because you're trolling like boo-hoo. You know my name is Simon. I came here to troll you. And of course your name is Simon. You troll me like boo-hoo. 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 Simon. Simon. And you know his name is Simon. He's a troll like boo-hoo. Of course your name is Simon. You have nothing else to do. Hi, Simon. Somebody said cringe. You know his name is Simon. Medical doctor, medical doctor, medical doctor, medical doctor. The MD. The MD. I am your idol, your highest title, numero uno. I am your idol, your highest title, numero uno. Oh, man, what else we got? Woo. What is this? Top 15 sources stay firing with. We're not going with that Democrat talking point. What else we got? We coming up on 2 hours, y'all. What else y'all want to talk about? What else y'all want to talk about? I gave a little light to the parade. You know, I researched the parade, and some of the things I came up with, it was kind of, you know, I looked at how many troops does China have. China has 3 million. We have 2.5 million. But when it comes to nuclear weapons, we have a couple thousand. They only have 500. And then when it comes to aircraft carriers, they got 2. We got 11, but their aircraft carriers are nowhere even near on the scale our aircraft carriers with. Goes back to what I told you about what America's job was after the manufacturing left America. That's why we have 11 aircraft carriers. Now, the research I found is like, not only do we have 11 aircraft carriers, but it's the fact that we have the best naval force when it comes to global missions, because we are the ones who've been policing the globe for the past foreseeable years. That's been our job. We sent manufacturing overseas, and the way this whole thing had worked up until now is that they made goods for us for cheap. We didn't charge a tariff. They shipped it over here, and the way it got over here so quick, so fast, and so easy is that America has been the police for the globe by the amount of aircraft carriers that we have and these land to sea operational ships. So American Air Force and Navy have been the police of the world, right? And that's what we've been doing, farming out security, selling guns, weapons, and, protecting countries and protecting trade. Just like when the Iran bombs happened, people were afraid of that trade route and I forget the name, but I said, why is that trade route already safe. It's safe because America polices the globe. America polices these trade canals, the Suez Canal, the Panama Canal, and global routes and ports. That is all possible because before America policed the globe, you had piratism and shipping companies lost a lot, and you couldn't guarantee things like Amazon and Temu and Overstock. See, there's logistics, huge logistics behind a Temu or Amazon or Overstock, and that is a guarantee that something can get here from China or around the world overnight without a problem. That guarantee exists because of American military might. And I don't think that's discussed enough about what's behind the trade, what's behind the commerce, what was the actual deal, right? You make the cheap goods and then we protect the shipping of those cheap goods. But what happened is the American worker got cut out of the deal, right? The American worker got cut out of the deal. The American military grew. If you think about this arrangement and who benefited. Now, China benefited. My argument has been, and I thought about this the other night when I thought about the trade deficit. And it's like, if you're a Chinese American, I want to talk to you, or if you was a Chinese, because they presented it in a way like, because I believe Chinese people want to pay their fair share, and I believe it hasn't been presented with that way in the opportunity when it comes to this trade discussion. Like when you talk about like how trade had been set up and why it was set up that way, it was, like I said, to benefit a nation at a certain point in time. This whole system I'm discussing with the aircraft carriers in America protecting the trade, setting up these trade agreements that existed pre-Trump trade, was so that China could become a trade power. Now, I argued that yesterday that what is missing from the discussion is that the acknowledgement of the initial discussion of why after. So today you have this parade, correct? And I don't know why they did the parade, because there's going to be intellectuals like me who have this discussion I'm having with you today. So you had this parade today at China celebrating the end of World War II. So this is what I'm saying to you about trade, right? And deficits, correct? And trade and trade deficits and tariffs. Correct. It's been this long after World War II. You have become a very rich and powerful nation. Why should you pay the same tariff that you paid when you were not this country with this marvelous parade? Can anybody answer that at home? See this, thank you, China, because you're making my argument for me. I'm not racist. I'm not against you. I am actually happy that our agreement worked out for you. So a couple things happened. The American military grew strong. A lot of money went to the American military, but the American worker got left out. And China, as a country, individually, citizens of China got rich. The country, and as we see today, Chinese military grew and got rich from our trade deficit, right? But that was the goal. I say to you in 2025 to China, are you a poor country? Or do you want to pay your fair share? Because America, just like at NATO, America's always paid a lion's share. So if you want to be the next America, if you want to be the next world power, then of course you have to step up to the plate when it comes to paying your fair share in global politics. And Paris Climate Accords that you pulled out of, America paid the lion's share. In NATO organizations that you're not a part of, America paid the lion's share. Do you understand? In a lot of trade deals up until now, America, who was the number one person in the world, paid them a lion's share. So now, China, are you a superpower or not a superpower? This is a very legitimate question, right? Why isn't anyone presenting it this way? Are you a superpower or are you not a superpower? Because it seems like you're still a fledgling third world country needing a zero tariff, needing a break, needing a handout. needing a dollar. Is that what it is? Because I look at the trade deficit and the tariffs that Trump is applying as an evening of the score, right? You're no longer this fledgling beginning of a country. Why not pay your fair share in trade? See, a lot of Americans have been spooked to a tariff. They don't understand that there's a trade deficit and that it needed to be fixed, that the trade agreements we had were old and antiquated for broke China. Can we have a real talk this morning? Anybody understand what I'm saying? The trade agreements that we had were old, antiquated for broke China, not for the China that just did that parade. Thank you for the parade. Thank you for the parade, because you make my point about trade deficits. Because some people didn't understand the trade deficit until you see how much money China has, till you see how many military, 3 million soldiers. That's a lot of money to pay them. Do you understand that China has a lot of money to pay all those soldiers, to have all that equipment? So if China is so rich, why can't it pay its fair share? You think we mad about your parade? I'm happy. I'm happy you have a parade. I'm happy your country, I'm happy the trade agreement we had from years ago worked out in your favor. But I'm sorry, that agreement we have to renegotiate. That's business. Somebody, JD34 said, I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, you're going to have to talk about it tomorrow because I'm out of here. It's been over 2 hours. We had a great show today, man. Thank you for everybody watching. A black man in U.S. talking BS. Oh, come on, man. You coming in kind of late with the Democratic talking points and using race. You know, I always like the trolls who start off with race. You know, you don't bring up no talking points. You don't bring up no bullet points. You just go right to race. In politics, I'm sorry that we have this fatigue in America. And that's what MAGA is all about. We're done with race, brother. We done with race. We only want policy. We done with race, brother. And you know, I love you. Yeah, man, we done with race. This channel is about policy, man. You ungrateful. I'm ungrateful to my race. The Democrats say you have to be race forward. The Democrats want you to be race first. I promise you, if I go out my country, people gonna say you're American. But for some reason, the Democrats want you to be race first. I'm American, brother. It's MAGA. It's MAGA. It's Make America Great Again. And it's only one America. You know, brother, you know, I want you to be loved and I want you to be happy, but I don't want it to be more than one America. I only want one America. I want the same America for me, and I want the same America for all Americans. I know the Democrats told you there's a black America, there's a blue America, there's a green America, there's a yellow America, and that we all need to fight. That there's not enough resources, but the Democrats lied. There's only one America, and there's enough love and honor and respect for all. It's the greatest country in the world. So, you know, maybe you're not here, man. Dems make it about race. Maybe you're not here, so you don't understand. Maybe you have a dream of being an American one day, but that's the reason why you have a dream of being American, because it's not about race, brother. If it was, I don't know if Trump would care about so much about death in predominantly black cities. Why would Trump care so much about the death in DC, the death in Chicago, the death in Sacramento? So, I don't know. I'm going to say I love you. God bless you. God bless the chat. Shout out to my brother Ozzy. Shout out to my brother Ozzy. I love you. Thank you for watching over the chat with that wrench. Thank you for moderating the chat. Democrats are responsible for all the fatherless ghetto homes. Hey, Waxer G4, thank you for coming through. Edward Penny, thank you for supporting. Same bad time, same bad channel. 11 a.m. Perfect Timing Podcast. I'm gonna be putting up some shorts. Go watch the shorts. Go comment. Let's have a debate in the comment section. Remember to subscribe, hit the like button, join the channel, hit the super chat. I gotta put my Cash App so y'all can donate so I can go get me a cup of coffee. Relax and take sports, man. Good show. Thank you. So, man, great show today, man. Y'all have a blessed day. I'll see y'all in a minute. God bless the president. God bless the country. God bless the chat.